Joy, did the Bears draft make them instant playoff contenders? Phenomenal draft.
Yeah, I think it did. I think they were contenders before the draft. Obviously, we all knew Caleb Williams was going there, but to also get Emmanuel Odunze is incredible. I don't want to get too crazy with the expectations and the demands that we have on this team, but I think the horses have probably already left the barn on that. This is a very tough division, and I'm not with everyone on the Lions and the Packers taking a significant step back. But we do know there are always new teams that are entering the playoffs every single year. There's turnover, there's injuries, there's things that we don't expect happening. So I think that they should be contending for a playoff spot. They are a very unique team to pick #1 overall for a lot of reasons. And Ryan Poles has played an instrumental part in the position that they are in. Obviously, they weren't the worst team in the league last year. That was the Panthers. So they really are kind of a confusing space. Like, they have the #1 overall pick, but they won some games last year, so they shouldn't have been
not
in
a terrible
that position.
team.
But what he's done, Ryan Poles, is really incredible. He's really set them up for success in a really significant way. Obviously, one's going way back where we were arguing about whether they should stick with Fields again, but staying with Fields and trading that #1 pick to acquire DJ Moore. Then Justin Fields starts. You not only give him a final opportunity to show what he's capable of doing, but you win some games, put him in a good position. You secure the #1 overall pick because of the trades you made with DJ Moore. Now, that was a little bit of luck, but luck favors the prepared and the brave. So there you go. Now you have the #1 overall pick, and Caleb Williams is in this draft. Amazing. You get Keenan Allen, you get DeAndre Swift, then you trade Fields, which was controversial. There were a lot of people in Chicago that wanted them to stick with Fields. He went for it, which I think, obviously, and we all think at this point, was the right move to make. But you do right by him, sending him to the Steelers, which is a good organization where he will probably get an opportunity. And now you have Caleb Williams, which we all knew was going to happen, but you get Odunze.
It's a nice night.
It's a really incredible stretch for Ryan Poles. I'm excited to see what they do. I think that the moves that they've made that I just outlined, along with the fact that you have what we all think is a generational player, you're pairing him with another exciting, really talented rookie. You saw them last night, excited to play together. Again, I think this is going to be one of the toughest divisions in football, but if they can get things right and get things rolling, I don't see why they wouldn't be competing for a playoff spot.
No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I'll take it a step further. I think they should compete for a playoff spot. I think they should compete in the division. I went back and did some homework in regards to what Joy was mentioning earlier. When I think about the 2022 playoff picture versus the 2023 playoff picture, and I think about those NFC teams particularly, remember the Eagles and the Niners, they played each other in the championship game. Remember the Vikings lost to the Giants in the first round of the playoffs. Remember the Seahawks, they were in the playoffs as well. So I thought to myself, wait, the Seahawks will likely get better. Geno Smith, they wrote him off. He didn't write back. I thought, well, the Giants will get better. Daniel Jones had 23 touchdowns total, only 5 interceptions. I thought to myself, the Cowboys, their roster is stacked. The Eagles, surely Jalen Hurts is going to build on his all-pro season. The Vikings, they look like they're in good hands. Their coach is a young coach. He's going to ascend. But family, what happened in 2023? Only 2 of those teams got better. The Eagles got substantially worse. The Vikings, they got injured, and they got substantially worse. The Cowboys, they got their doors blown off in the playoffs. They got worse. The Vikings took a major step back. Seahawks took a step back. Giants took a step back. The Bucs and the Niners got better, and you could argue marginally got better because the Niners, who knows if they would have been in the Super Bowl if Brock Purdy didn't get hurt the year before. I say that to say teams better be out of there. Teams that were in the playoff picture in the NFC will not be in the playoff picture. I think the Chicago Bears are a team that will ascend. They should ascend. Offensively, not only do you have Allen, Swift, DJ Moore, Odunze, but they do different things. Like Keenan Allen, he's not taking the top off of a defense, but 8 to 12 yards, he's getting busy. Then DJ Moore, he's taking the top off a defense. Then Odunze can do a little bit of everything in between. He'll attack the middle of the field. Then you have Komet, you have Everett. You have depth offensively, and I love that a defensive-minded coach did it. After week 10, the Bears had the #1 scoring defense in football. Eberflus is saying, I'll cover my defensive side of the ball. Offense, y'all have no excuse. I trust the Bears to not only compete for the playoffs, I trust them, Shady, to compete in the NFC North. What you think, though? I said a lot.
I'm not looking for that. I mean, these guys are rookies, so I don't see them contending for playoffs and all that. Now, C.J. Stroud, that did happen, so anything is possible. But that list you just showed, I didn't see teams depending on rookies to carry their team. That matters, though. You talking about rookies coming in from college, you go to school, right? You got practice, and then it's chill. In the NFL, it's just your job. And I just know how hard it was for me as a rookie, right? Let alone being a quarterback. So I disagree. I think the second year, I see some real pushing for the playoffs, pushing for that division. And I never really judge rookies. So if you could be like C.J. Stroud and take your team to playoffs, hats off to you. But I just don't see just coming in there and just because we make some good draft picks with the quarterback and wide receiver, and we're just going to automatically just be in the playoffs. I don't think.
Let me ask you this, 2-5. Last 8 games for the Chicago Bears, they were 5-3. Their 3 losses were to all playoff teams. I believe they were by 1 possession. They were to the Packers, they were to the Lions, and they were to the Browns. 5-3 with Justin Fields, a quarterback who, of anybody on national television, obviously you were most critical of. You don't like his game.
He's not that good. Yeah.
So the Bears were a 7-win team with Fields, 5-3 their last 8. I don't know that Caleb has to come in there and be Superman.
Yeah.
I think Caleb can come in there and be an above-average player, and with that talent on that roster, and those should be the expectations. I don't think he has to carry them.
Well,
so based upon that, what would you say?
I just don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's that simple as, okay, an average quarterback has a lot of talent as far as his athletic abilities, right? He leaves, and then you put a really good quarterback from college into the pros and make it happen. I don't think it works just like that, right? The coach is going to call the game different for this rookie quarterback that just got there. The same way they call the game differently for Justin Fields when he just got there. This is how it works. So I just think, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, or because he could go out there and ball out and they could be in the playoffs. I'm just saying the way I see it, I don't think it's that easy. And
Will he be worse than Fields, you think?
I don't know. He's a rookie. I don't know.
Okay. Fair.
Right?
Fair.
Because like we can sit here and go these numbers of good quarterbacks like Trubisky. He plays as a rookie, right?
Yeah, of course.
And we thought he was good.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. He was awful. Peyton Manning, he was awful as a rookie.
But
then he became to be good.
To that point.
This is up and down. You never know.
But let me ask you, to that point, obviously my brother was on the Bears teams with Mitch Trubisky. They did go 12-4 while Mitch was there. Yeah. They did go to the playoffs while Mitch was there. Right. It was not all because of Mitch. Mitch had a good year the year they went 12-4. I think
Nettie was there too. He's a good coach.
And not only that, they had a great defense. Mitch didn't have to do everything.
No,
not his rookie year.
Second year.
But the point being is, the quarterback didn't have to carry the team. Had a phenomenal
Right, but what Shady is talking
team.
about is the rookiness of it all.
I just love, like, you can tell we have an all-decade player on the desk because he's like, you're going to have to show me. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't give a damn.
It'd be hard.
When you were drafted. I love your very reasonable, well-thought-out take, Shady, because I think, like, can we just be cautiously optimistic with the Bears?
I tried this, Dave.
Is that okay? Like, why? I refuse to go 0 to 60. I'm so excited about the Bears. I don't need to repeat everything that y'all just said because you did a great job. I'll just mention Montez Sweat. Everybody this weekend is going to be like, the Bears don't have a second-round pick. Yeah, they do. His name's Montez Sweat. He helped turn their defense around. There's so much to be excited about here. But we can still just wait and be cautiously optimistic and say they play a fourth-place schedule. They have a rare quarterback running the show now. And they have a chance. I think the Bears have a chance to be in the playoff mix. To expect it, or certainly to expect them to win the division in a division with 2 teams that made the playoffs last year, it's not to say that they can't do it. I just don't think it's fair. And I know it's the NFL, but that's just, it is really hard to win. And we did a whole conversation about this like a week or 2 ago, Joy, where this is a culture that's not used to it. This is a head coach that's not used to it. Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator, he's experienced, but not here. He's never done this. How is he going to work with Caleb and Matt Eberflus? I hate to bring this up because it's such a cop-out, but injuries will play a role in this.
But I think, Dave,
you never know.
I think the premise you built is flawed. Because you said, I'm not going to go from 0 to 60. That's assuming the Bears are at 0. If the Bears were at 0, I'd agree with Shady. I would agree with you.
The Bears
I don't
were
expect
going
Caleb to
20 in a school zone. How's that? They were going 25.
I think that the Bears at the end of the season, particularly after Montez Sweat was acquired from Washington, I think they were a competent football team. Their record shows it as well.
I'm glad you said competent.
Yeah, they weren't world beaters.
Yeah.
I'm not at all overselling it. But they were a competent football team. I'm not exclusively depending upon Odunze, but DJ Moore got busy in Carolina, came to a new city with a new coach, got busy again. Keenan Allen gets busy with every quarterback, with every offensive coordinator. So what I'm suggesting is that, like, the Bears are equipped to compete. I don't expect them to win the division, but I think they are equipped to compete.
What about this this last thing? This is going to be a whole new offense, right? New quarterback, new wide receivers, college wide receivers. Keenan Allen's a new wide receiver, right? New running back. Does that matter? I mean, I'm just saying, we talk about just playing this game of football, like, that means something. And then our leader, right? Our leader, he coming from college. And I think he's a phenomenal player. I think he's going to have a tremendous NFL career. I can see him being all-pro and all-decade and all that. I can see Caleb Wentz being that good. But I'm saying he got to get there, though, because he's coming into a whole new thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think
talking about it.
expectations and capabilities are 2 different things. To me, I do not expect them to win the division.
Yeah, I
don't
agree.
even expect them to make the playoffs necessarily. I do think that they are fully capable of it. I think that the roster, the moves that they've made, what they put around them, the fact that they were competent at the end of the season, the fact that they weren't the worst team in the league just because they were picking number one does not mean that they were actually that bad. I think all of those factors would make me feel comfortable about saying that they could be competing for both of those things, in fact, because there are going to be some changes about who wins the division. There are going to be some changes of who's in the playoffs. All those things are possible. But I am also simultaneously with Shady, which is I'm just going to enjoy watching this. I don't need to or expect anything from rookies, and I don't think that is an indictment of how good I think Caleb Williams is going to be. I think he's going to be spectacular. I'm excited to see him in the NFL. I also think the NFL is a different sport. It is a different speed. You are playing against professional players who are all grown men, some of whom have played with each other for many years. They know what to anticipate. They study tape differently. They're used to their routines. They're used to their systems. All those things matter. So I think that because they are in sort of a unique situation with the roster moves that they've made, with what they've put around him, with the fact that they weren't a traditional number one overall pick, it's not unrealistic to be optimistic about them
and I guess,
competing for the playoffs.
I guess I look at it the exact same way as you. I just come to a different conclusion. Because if I think I'm capable of doing something, then I expect me to do it. Yeah. If I don't think I'm capable of it, I don't expect it. Hence, like the Lakers, which we'll talk about later. I think Joy, me, you, James, Shady, we all differed. I didn't even think the Lakers were capable of beating the Nuggets. Hence why I didn't expect it.
But what makes you, because we are talking specifically about the rookie nature of it. We're not talking about the roster. Like if it was, we're specifically talking about the rookiness of it all. So you don't think that doesn't shade your opinion about what you expect from them at all?
It does. To Shady's point, kind of trying to bridge the gap of the tension between Shady and I's take is, I just need Caleb to play at an above average level. So if I needed Caleb to play at a CJ Stroud level, then I'd be a little bit more worried. I don't need him to play at Stroud level. I need him to play at plus 25% of Justin Fields, which I believe Caleb is playing at. I think if you put Fields on this Bears roster, I think they win 8.5 to 9 games. Now, if you're putting Caleb Williams on this Bears roster, I think they win 9 to 11 games.
But 9 and 11 is a massive difference in the NFL.
Correct.
Colossal difference.
Correct. But as we all know, 24% of games are decided by 3 points or less. Right. That's why I'm just giving it like the...
But that's why I don't care about how close you are. If you miss a field goal to make the playoffs at the end of the season, that's different. But losing 4 games close means you're not a good football team. That's insane. That is the difference that we're talking about here. So going from 9 games or 7 games to 11 games, that's a whole different world. Yeah. 7 games to 11 games is a whole different world.
I guess I look at, I know, I look at it defensively. Preparing for the Bears 2023 football team versus the Bears 2024 offensive football team, totally different.
Sure.
Because when I go out there and I'm defensively preparing for now DeAndre Swift in the backfield, and then I got to prepare for Keenan Allen on top of DJ Moore, and now you just said Rome Odunze is the 3rd best wide receiver. So now my nickel back got to be as good as Odunze. Then because they're all different players, Keenan can play in the slot. Odunze can play in the slot. DJ can play in the slot, and they can all play on the outside as well. So just defensively, I'm like, that just became a much bigger nightmare.
And who has to run this?
Waldron. Oh, you're talking about Caleb.
And Caleb.
I'm talking about OC.
But see, like, Caleb got drafted so high because he has that generational talent, right? For the future, the potential. I think that potential, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Not in the first year. I don't never judge rookies because I know how hard it is. These guys I played with, I didn't think was that good as rookies. And then the next year, I'm like, he is pretty good. Oh, no wonder they drafted him high. That happens all the time. So I just feel like with Caleb Williams, I mean, we're looking at his talent, right, and his potential. It's like, they should just be a way better team. But you got to look at everything that counts for that. It's like, the coach is going to be different. The way we coaches do from first Justin Fields. And it's all new receivers. Like, for example, I got to learn what's your best route. I got to learn what you like better. I got to learn how to run. All that matters, and you're a rookie doing that. For me, I think when we see a guy like CJ Stroud do it, we think everybody can do it. We don't know if CJ Stroud is going to keep going on that level, right? We think he is because he had a phenomenal rookie year, but there's a lot of players that's the other way around that don't do well the rookie year, and then they become phenomenal, great players. So for me, I never, ever judge rookies because it's the hardest time to be a pro.
You know best. I'm not going to argue with you on that one.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.